So I took a few days off, and now the world's on fire again. Let's talk about that. So I missed a few days. I apologize for that. For those of you that have been watching the show on a regular basis, I had a lot of shit going on last week. So unfortunately, I had to take a few days and step away from filming these things. Just the reality of the world, unfortunately for me. I was able to get away this weekend and recharge my batteries, but last week was really intense. Some things with business didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to. I was getting a little overwhelmed with some of the news that was coming out and dealing with some issues at home with my kids and my girlfriend and all those kind of things. So sometimes life just gets in the way, but I'm back at it. Here I am. It's Monday right now. It's the 20th, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, it's July 20th. So welcome to tonight's Daily Octane. I got a few things to talk about tonight. First of all, like I said, I got away this weekend. This is where I went. I was here a few weeks ago to Lake Placid. This right here that you can see on the screen, this is Whiteface Mountain, the backside of Whiteface Mountain. And I was out here on my kayak and just had an absolutely amazing time. This is the northernmost part of Lake Placid right here. And it's just utterly beautiful. It's part of the High Peaks region of New York State's Adirondack Park, and if you get a chance to get up there and check it out, I mean, it is just utterly amazing. So I had a beautiful time up there, rode my bike, did some kayaking, had some drinks, had some good food, spent some time, brought my parents up, as a matter of fact, took them on vacation, got them a hotel room and some food and stuff, and we had a really good time. But then I come back to the latest news that's going on, and you may have caught it. So got a judge. Now, I don't know how much of this story you know, but this judge here, Esther Salas, she was actually put on the courts by Obama. And she has presided over a number of famous courts, including the Real Housewives court case from several years ago. But she is right now presiding over a court case that is involving Jeffery Epstein. And Jeffery Epstein was doing business with Deutsche Bank out of Germany. And so she is working through this money laundering scheme that was going on at the same time. Supposedly, on Sunday night, a man walked up in a FedEx uniform and knocked or rang the doorbell or whatever he did. This judge's husband answers the door, and the gunman shoots him. The judge's son, 20 years old, college student studying law, runs into the room to find out what's going on. He gets killed by the gunman. Now, the husband's alive. The judge was actually in the basement at the time. And the man flees. The shooter flees. Again, wearing a FedEx uniform. So, the story comes out. Now, obviously, we know what happened with Jeffery Epstein. If you don't, you live under a rock. But Jeffery Epstein is a man who was basically trafficking young girls in a sex trade. And he's got a partner in crime who has recently been arrested and is being charged as an accomplice in that entire ring of pedophilia and sex trafficking. So now the news comes out today that this man, his name is Roy Den Hollander. He is a lawyer who is also currently has a court case in the Judge Salas's court. He is known as the anti-feminist lawyer. He does a lot of court cases that involve suing to get men's rights. He's an admitted misogynist. You can read this right here. If I'm hitting on some young girl at the club, and I won't be hitting on an older one because they don't look as good. If she knows how old I am, I'm not going to be able to exploit her infinite capacity to delude herself into thinking I'm younger. That coming out of the age of mouth of a 72-year-old lawyer who's done a number of these lawsuits. Now, this man right here is the man that they are saying obtained and wore a FedEx delivery driver's uniform, walked up to the home in the evening of a Sunday and shot the judge's husband and then killed her son. Man's got a long career in law. I'm assuming he's doing well financially. He did have cancer, so he had nothing to lose. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where if whoever is behind Epstein's suicide wants to silence this judge, this is the kind of guy that they could coerce into doing it. Now, who knows? I'm not... Well, actually, yes, I am. Let's go right down the conspiracy rabbit hole. If the powers that be got away with killing Epstein in jail, and I don't know who these powers that be. You got people on the right saying it's Clinton's. You got people on the left saying it's Trump. I know that Prince Andrew from the UK has been investigated. So I think this actually has to do with lots of people. I think this has to do with people in Hollywood. This has to do with people in politics, world leaders. I think the reach of this case and Jeffrey Epstein's entanglement, the parlance of our times, with all of these people is extraordinary. And I think that the powers that be would have picked this guy if they needed somebody that could be their scapegoat. Now, perhaps it was, we will pay you to go shoot them up, take off, we'll cover for you, and then they just put a bullet in his head and make it look like a suicide. Who knows? I think, given the circumstances of the scope of this Epstein case, that the chances are higher that this guy was hired to do this than they are that he did this on his own. Now, of course, we're not going to know. I posted on social media. I'd like to see a video from the security cameras. This judge. I mean, I have Ring doorbells on all my doors. The judge had to have something. There has to be some kind of a security camera at the entrance of the home, a Ring doorbell, an Arlo or a Nest or something. There's got to be something there that's got footage of this guy walking up to the door. I'd like to see that footage. They should make that public. They should also have, we're talking about, prominent areas of Westchester County, or Rockland County, I think it was, right? Trying to see Liberty, upstate Liberty, yeah. So they're up in Rockland County. There's got to be closed circuit cameras all over that area. There's got to be traffic cameras, something to figure out where he went. Will they all be disappeared coincidentally like they were with the Epstein case when he hung himself in jail? I guess we're not going to know. I am, this is one of those things between this and the unmarked federal agents in Portland right now that are snatching people off the street, and the history of the security guards that were most likely Blackwater agents all over DC when they were, rioting and looting and damaging monuments. There is so much of this unabashed totalitarianism and fascism that's happening right now. Now, this could be anything. This could be anything. Now, this judge was presiding over a case involving Deutsche Bank. Now, Deutsche Bank, if you recall, if you've been following politics, and especially if you followed the impeachment, there's a lot of money with Trump matters that were funneled through Deutsche Bank. The U.S. District Attorney's Office, the New York District Attorney's Office, filed a complaint to get files from Deutsche Bank regarding Trump. So if Epstein's involved with Trump, Epstein's involved with Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Bank's involved with Trump, Trump's plenty of pictures out there floating on the internet of Trump hanging out with Epstein, not once, not twice, but multiple times. Could be. Of course, on the flip side, to play devil's advocate here, there's a history of anecdotal ideas and conspiracy theories that the Clintons have had people killed several times over the years. It's all, any of it could be possible. All of it could be nonsense. But there's pictures, doctored or not, there's pictures with Bill Clinton with Epstein. There's definitely pictures with Prince Andrew with Epstein, as well as a number of prolific Hollywood actors and producers and all that kind of stuff. So this is one of those things where somebody needs to grab the reins of this situation and bring all of this stuff to light, because it's happening right out in the open. And they're just expecting us to buy their lies. I have a very, very, very hard time believing that that man right there walked up to a judge's house and just opened fire. Now, who knows? He could be a Looney Tunes nutcase. Obviously, if he's running, lawsuits against ladies' nights and trying to get women in the draft and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, the guy's obviously mentally unhinged anyway, but there's a big difference between being a misogynist and shooting up a federal judge's house. They're very, very different things. What do you think? What do you think is possibly going on? Do you think Epstein killed himself? Do you think his accomplice, the woman that's in jail right now, do you think she's going to live? Do you think all the world leaders are involved and this could be the thing that finally takes down the cabal of powerful world leaders and movie producers and real estate moguls and all that stuff? What are your thoughts? I would love some comments down below. If you like today's video, give it that thumbs up right here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you're not. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I really enjoy this. I'm going to spend some time this week. These graphics that you see around me right here and some of the other stuff, I'm going to be updating those for this as well as The Gentleman and the Jerk that I film on Sunday nights with my friend Mark. You can find those. We're going to be hosting those live streaming on YouTube starting on Friday. So I hope you like what you watched tonight. I hope you agree with me. If you don't, I'd love to have a dissenting comment as below. I mean, do you think this is all on the up and up and this guy actually shot up her house? Let me know what you think. Otherwise, thanks for watching the Daily Octane. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.